I tell you, I checked the Enterprise Bank calendar. It is the 21st of October. Welcome, one and all, to Thursday Night Live. How are you tonight? What are you grateful for this Thursday night? I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. It was a great Thursday, a busy Thursday. On so many fronts, a busy Thursday. And I am grateful to be here with you at way more-ish than 8. I am here. I got dinner in tonight, Kitty. I got dinner in. I'm sorry. But I got dinner in. How was your Thursday? What are you grateful for? Adele and Dazzle are here. Dazzle, it is treat time. There you go, people. Treat time, I tell you. It is great to have you all here tonight. What is happening out there, people? What you all grateful for? What are you all grateful for on this Thursday night? Had a nice family dinner, which was nice to be able to sit down for dinner, so I appreciate your grace in allowing me that, allowing me to be a little late today. But I hope all is well in your world. Lots of Christmas decor. That's what I love to hear. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. That is what I like to hear. Process it. Price it up. Price it up. Price it up. Price it up. Raise those prices and get it sold. That is what I want to hear. That is what I want to hear. I do. Let's grab the glasses and get our good morning, good night book going here. Let's get it going. That's how we start the program every night. Tonight we're on page 42. Good morning. Everything could change today, or one tiny vital thing. What it won't be is a rerun of yesterday. Let's see. Hey, Kelly, I was waiting till yoga was over. Actually, no, I got a family dinner in. I am here. You do know when it's what they want when it starts selling immediately, and then you do know you could have priced it higher. You could have priced it higher, Kitty. How high can you go? It is glitter season, as Adele is saying. It is glitter season. Ho, ho, ho. Cassandra helped out in a little store today. I thought she was a little more shiny when she came home. It is glitter season, people. And oh, what a glorious season it is. It is glorious. Glorious, glorious. I'm feeling glorious. Oh. If I told you the number $4.33, what does it mean to you? I know it's Thursday night, not Friday night trivia, but what does $4.33 mean to you? Think about that for a second. Think about that. $4.33. Our quote tonight comes from Zig Ziglar. Well, actually, I got several quotes tonight. But our first quote of the night comes from Zig Ziglar. If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. You ladies, no one can stop you. Just between us girls, nobody's stopping you. All right, Kitty, 2 thumbs up for pricing higher. Higher. Raise those prices. Food prices on average are heading up. Grocery bills are heading up on average 15%. Okay, and people are noticing but hardly blinking an eye. Housing housing is taking a bigger chunk of people's income with the rise in housing prices. What the Federal Reserve Bank determines housing affordability to not spend more than 30% of a household income on housing-related expenses, including rent, mortgage, taxes, utilities, and utility payments. The average household is spending 32.4% of their annual income, and it is the highest since November 2008 on housing. But people are spending. People are spending. Part of that is being allowed by enhanced savings in this country. A pound of bacon is not kosher. Turkey bacon, maybe, but a pound of bacon at $8.49. Yes, it is. Prices are going up, but but what hasn't been reached yet, the key to that conversation is you still bought the bacon. Okay, that is the key to this conversation. It has not changed shopping habits yet, Kitty. It has not changed shopping habits yet, the price increases. People are rolling with the price increases. Hello, Jennifer. Great to have you here. Hey, Sylvia, live tonight. Great to have you here. See what happens when I'm way more ish than 8? All right, I'm proud of you, Kitty, that you didn't buy it. But most people are. Most people are still buying it, and that is the key to that conversation, is that most people are still making their purchases. Occasionally, they might shift to a store brand from a primary brand. They might shift from ground to ground steak from steak, but they are making their purchases. It is especially in the meat categories that prices have risen, but they're going all. Procter & Gamble said again this week, it's going all over. Nestle, the world's largest food producer. Nestle, I mean, you think of the chocolate chips, you think of the flour pantry when you think Nestle. But no, Nestle is the world's largest food conglomerate, okay? And they have talked about their prices going up again, and this is not on top of the 5% it's already gone up. It's going to go up again. Now, whether these will be transitory and come down at some point, but transitory is the rate of going up in general, not that the prices actually fall back down. And you have to keep this in mind with the cost of everything else. The cost of wages are rising. The cost of wages are rising. And to get and retain talent is rising. So you have to keep that in mind. Right. A major retailer that Jennifer was in today made their aisles more narrow, so it looked like they had more than they really had. Again, all these gimmicks, they're quite smart, the ones that actually take the time to do the gimmicks. Okay, I'm with it. And that they should. But they do not have the supply. They do not have the inventory. They have what they have. And it is not looking good. Actually, the port delays, since the announcement of the Biden administration's attempt to get the ports open and running 24 hours a day, the port, and this is common anyway. So, I mean, I'm picking at it because it's an important statistic right now. I mean, we're at the tail end of October here, people, and you're trying to expand capacity and you're trying to get more through. But since 10 days ago or whenever the Biden administration announced that the ports were going to operate 24 hours a day and they were going to loosen the bottlenecks and all this stuff, the delays have actually, the days sitting out there anchored in the middle of the ocean waiting to get called in to unload your boat has increased a day and a half. Since then, it has increased a day and a half from where it just was 10 days ago. So lots. But things tend to get worse before they get better. Things tend to get worse before they get better. I just don't know, like with most of this, that it's going to get better enough to help these retailers, the big guys, this season. And they know it. The big guys know it. The big guys know it. They've got what they got, and they'll sell what they've got. Hey, Heidi, how's things in Iowa? So, that is an important thing. Um, so I threw out a number of $4.33 for you and asked you what you thought that meant. And nobody had any guesses today. Nobody had any guesses. You guys aren't in a guessing mood. When I throw trivia questions at you on non-trivia nights, you guys are not in a trivia mood. I'm just saying. $4.33 is the average ATM fee in Metro Boston, the sixth lowest in the U.S. That means there are 5 metro areas that have a higher average ATM fee than Boston. And that hurts the lowest of income earners because they tend to take smaller withdrawals more often. And granted, I'm old enough that I remember being able to get $5 from an ATM. Yes, tagging gun supplies are in short supply. Tags are in short supply. The tags for your tag machines are in short supply. There is a lot of things that are in short supply. Supply chain is everywhere. Had a conversation in the bank the other day about supply chain, and the dentist was like, you wouldn't think I'd have supply chain issues, but I can't get Novocaine. A dentist that can't get Novocaine, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. We are broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube. Cassandra's got the link there for you in the show comments. If you're having any problems on Facebook, hop on over to YouTube. I'm right here. Facebook, YouTube. It's like I'm in the same place. People. But, again, on the economic effects, so ATM fees, an average of $4.33. The average overdraft charge in banking charges $34.06, which makes Boston the 12th highest metro in the U.S. Yes, plastic bottle and everything at the pharmacy too. Exactly, Sylvia. That's very important. And I remember back from my pharmacy days how many we'd have. We'd have the whole basement filled with bottles and stuff. I used to have to put it together. That was one of my nickel an hour jobs working for my father. But you know what is selling 48% higher than last year? Chocolate and candy sales over the last year are 48% up, 60% higher than in 2019 as we head into Halloween. Candy. I mean, do you carry any candy in your store? I know that's a stupid question. I sell clothing. Why would I sell candy? Yes, bags as well. Exactly, Kitty. Any of this stuff, when you can get it, I'm buying it. I'd rather have a little bit on the shelf. I know I'll always use it, even if I'm paying a higher premium and the price later drops. I'm increasing our supply a little bit, our stock up, and we've been a little busier, so we've been going through supplies. Like we're in the 3rd week of the month right now. We supply our locations with supplies a month at a time, and we're running out of things in store, regular supplies, bags, and things. And that's because we've had a little busier October. But candy is a great topic right now. As I just covered those stats, we sell candy in our stores, and we sell more of it in our home store than we do in our clothing stores, and that's because of the kids. And I'm not out to get all the kids and sugar them up, but we do sell a little bit. And this comes back to one of the companies I consulted with for a long time. One of my longtime clients was a chain of furniture stores. Okay, a small chain of furniture stores, and they get over 1 million. And this is pre-pandemic, pre-everything. This goes back a little ways, but they get over $1 million a year in candy. $1 million a year in candy in a furniture store. Okay, and in the whole scheme of that company's sales, they were $40-50 million a year company, whatever. And but they did $1 million of it in candy, more than $1 million in candy, while selling furniture. So having a little something like the peanut butter cups we carry, we actually just ordered a line of chocolates that is letters. So you can spell out things with letters and stuff, and it goes for about $2.50 a letter retail. And I ordered, we have little pick-me-ups, little Buckeyes and little things that are quick pick-me-ups. And that adds to the bottom line. It's just these are little add-ons that add to the bottom line and have good profit margins. And it's not your traditional model, but there's a reason why all that candy's at the checkout counter in the grocery store. There's a reason there, okay? Grocery stores do millions of dollars a year in it. Candy and chocolate sales are up dramatically, 60% over 2019. 60% over 2019. That is huge. So I buy my peanut butter cups. My peanut butter cups is a great company based in Massachusetts called CB Stuffer. They also sell on Faire. I'm a direct client, but I'm friends with the owners. You can buy those on Faire. CB Stuffer are Bacci Chocolate Design, BACCI. They're on Faire. I have a couple of vendors that I work with to buy candy. I mean, I don't have a lot of vendors. I like to deal with less people. I will buy more from one manufacturer's rep. So I have like 3 manufacturers reps that I work with. And I work with them because they work with a variety of companies. And so I can get a bunch of companies by dealing with just a couple of people. And they understand me. I can email them my on hands like I did with several events with them today. And they just do the orders. I can trust them to do the orders and not overfill me with stuff and be okay. So, I mean, and it's just trying different things. Don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid to try things. If it doesn't work out, you just discount it, you get rid of it. The mistake is hanging on to something that doesn't work. You discount it, you get rid of it, you move on. You move on. Okay? And you move on with it and you don't worry about it. Or you eat it. I mean, I love it when a peanut butter cup goes outdated because I throw it in the freezer and then it becomes a snack. But that doesn't happen very often. But those things are great. And it's an impressive, it's just these little add-ons. Anything that can add on to your sales, but with candy being so hot, people are buying it. And I just ordered some more of those yesterday. So that is a good day. What do you think of when I say bounce rate? When I say bounce rate, what do you guys think of? When I talk about bounce rate, what are you thinking of? When I talk about bounce rate, you're probably thinking email, because that's a term that's commonly used with emails, is what was your bounce rate? How many emails just bounced back or bounced off, or on your website, bounce rate. Well, bounce rate is now a bounce rate is now a new term being used with workers returning to the office. There was a 20% increase in workers returning to the office in September compared to August. But an interesting phenomenon has developed for companies starting to that comeback, and it's called a bounce rate. It's when employees show up to work, but then decide to stop going again. It happens most often when employees visit the office, but then the experience isn't what they expected. Maybe no one else from their team was there on that day, or all of their meetings ended up being by Zoom anyways. Bounce rate with return to office. Hey, not of insignificance historically. On this day in 1797, the USS Constitution first launched from Boston. Just saying, there's lots of interesting news. Time filing for jobless claims totaled 290,000 people for the week that ended October 16th. That was down 6,000 from the previous week and below estimates. And it's the second week in a row where it was below 300,000. Continuing jobless claims also dropped to a pandemic low of 2.48 million people collecting some form of jobless benefits. But part of what this economy has created is people that don't want to go back to work. And there are so many reasons for that that are endless, whether it's childcare issues, whether they're spending their savings cushion that they piled up during the pandemic. There are a lot of reasons that people don't want to go back to work. They are hoping for something better, but they don't have the skills for something better. So there's a mismatch there. But there is that great disconnect with that. There's that great disconnect. So keep that in mind. Target did their deal days last week. Target did their deal days. Remember, I told you they were doing deal days in early October to stimulate holiday spending. And what it did for Target and the way they did it really increased their in-store traffic. And that is the lesson to learn from what they did with their deal days. So they primarily had one item that they were highlighting, okay? And the one item marketing to draw people in. It's sort of a 12 days of Christmas thing where you have a limited quantity of something only available in store at a good price. Okay, so we could have, for example, have a peanut butter cup sale. Okay, a limited quantity, we could have that at a special price, at an ultra low price to draw people in one day only. And that's part of what they did on their deal days, this concept of limited items to draw people in. What it did, visits were up to Target stores of the days, 3% on Sunday, 15% on Monday, and 20% on Tuesday versus 2019 numbers. Okay, they were also up markedly versus 2020 numbers. So doing this type of promotion to draw people in with a limited offering is actually a really good marketing idea. Think about how you can apply that moving forward here in this holiday season as part of your plans and promotions. Okay, planning your success for this holiday season. How can you apply that? What do you have? Do you have a piece of jewelry, a scarf, something, an add-on item that you could have a blowout deal on to get them in the door? The old-fashioned loss leader. I mean, it ultimately is the old-fashioned loss leader, although Target's not losing money on it. To draw people in and open their wallets for everything else while they're there because they want what they can see. There is so much, as we've talked about, that you can't see in stores, that doesn't exist in store. And so the fact that you can actually lay your hands on it, people will buy it. People will buy it. Interesting point, in business news, there is a rumor that Pinterest is about to be sold. Pinterest is about to be sold. Who would like to buy Pinterest? Do you have an extra $45 or so billion? If you have an extra $45 or so billion, you might be able to outbid PayPal to buy Pinterest. PayPal is reportedly very, very close to a deal to acquire Pinterest. And that would be a very interesting makeup. To help garner more transactions. It is an interesting thing to see if that works out. It'll be interesting to see that. There is a lot, okay? Capitol Hill is incredibly active right now. Capitol Hill is incredibly active as the Biden administration tries to come up with something they can pass. Something, of this that they can pass. They have this artificial deadline at the end of the month, which is very artificial from the meetings I had last week and this week. But they would love to have a framework of something they could pass by the end of the month. Not that they'd actually pass it this month. One of the things on that agenda is an IRS reporting requirement that would ensnarl virtually all small businesses. And that would require banks to report on all businesses with more than $10,000 in activity in a year. It would require the banks funnel all of your banking records up to the IRS, so the IRS could say, hey, the original version of this proposal had it at $600. Any business doing more than $600 in their bank account. The current proposal has it at $10,000 going through your bank account in a year, would have your banking records automatically funneled to the IRS. The IRS in today's world can't handle that. Okay, that is an amount of data they can't handle. They can't do anything with it. It's designed to catch tax cheats. And I am a big advocate. I've got a lot of IRS experience from a number of different situations. And I often say that you are entitled to take everything you are entitled to, but you are not allowed to stretch what you are entitled to with the IRS. And so if you follow that rule, do not cross that line. You're not saying, well, hey, if I don't get, nobody knows, it's okay. No, if you do not, you don't cross these lines. These are lines. This is integrity. I have no problem taking and encouraging people to take what they're legitimately entitled to. But do not take what you are not, is the key lesson to that. And in theory, you would not have to do the Schedule C, but you would have to do the Schedule C so they could catch you on perjury, under pains and penalties of perjury, Kitty, because then you would have committed a felony. Okay, under pains and penalties of perjury, you would have committed a felony. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in my younger days, and when I got to, when my father was sick and I had to take over all this stuff and I had to deal directly. I've talked about this many times. I talked about, my first real experience with the IRS, and I'll give you the short version of the story for those of you that haven't heard this before, was my father had been sick and in the hospital for probably a year at this point, and literally in the hospital for that year. And I get a call one day from my mother, and she's at home, and she calls me, and she's like, there's this guy at the front door. He needs to talk to you. And my mother takes the phone from the kitchen, takes it off the wall, carries it to the front door and hands the phone to the guy. And the guy says, hi, Neil. My name is Bruce Purdon, and I'm with the Internal Revenue Service. And my day went downhill from there. But, a lot of things go wrong in a company when somebody gets sick. And that's a lot of what happened in my father's world, especially when everything goes through one person. And so I learned a lot about IRS policy. I learned a lot about things. And, on that day, I told Bruce I'd make everything right. And he probably thought I was full of crap. I certainly thought I was full of crap. But over a period of time, him and I worked together and we made everything right. And I learned an awful lot about tax policy and taxes and everything else through that experience. And what that experience taught me ultimately was take what you are entitled to, Don't cross that line. It's not worth your integrity to cross that line. My father didn't cross that line. He had a variety of issues, but he never really crossed that. He just didn't do a lot of stuff. Finance was never his thing. For all that I am with paperwork and finance, my father was not that. That was not his thing. Paperwork and things he never took to. But take what you're entitled to. I am all for. We're actually going to have a great conversation. I got to type up some things for you guys. I got connected this week. One of the conversations I had this week on your behalf was with some upper IRS officials, some unnamed upper IRS officials this week about ERTC payments, employee retention tax credit payments that I know many of you are waiting on, and things, and what to do with all that. And we made some connections. And so I got to type up some of my notes from that of what you can do. I've actually already tested some of them. I just have to make them more organized, but we will have that conversation on the IRS because it's important information, and I want to make sure that you guys get to the right place. Yeah, well, I got some key stuff that should help us get you to the other side of that. It was an interesting conversation. I got connected this week a little bit, and I've got a couple more people that are connecting me with some other people. So we've made some good connections here, and I even got phone number. Who knew there's a West Virginia office? Who knew there was a West Virginia office that is now getting most of the ERC stuff? It is coming. It is coming together. They are actively working on it to take care of people. So I am excited about that. I'm excited that I was able to make these contacts. I was telling Cassandra a little bit about it yesterday. She's like, does Bruce Purdon still work for I've used Bruce Purdon's name in vain for so many years as part of my story. He's a real guy. I'm like, I didn't ask whether he's still with the IRS, but he is probably like a lot of other people in service that I've retired. I think of him as like, the school teachers I've retired and other things. I probably retired him after dealing with me for the time period he had to deal with me and work with everything. So I got to cover that coming up. I've got to cover why you're a restaurant, and you're not really going to believe that one, but I'm working on that. And it's not because Jennifer's trying to sell cookies. It's not because Jennifer's trying to sell cookies that you're a restaurant. But I am working on that. I am working hard to that you are a restaurant, and you're gonna, the stuff that keeps me going, people. It's the stuff that keeps me going. But you know what keeps you going? This video and everything I talk about. This video and everything I talk about goes over to nerds.org/resalestrong by noon the next day. Noon, I tell you. All the files, all the links, all the videos go over to nerds.org/resalestrong by noon the next day, including a direct link to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yeah, ring the bell! Ring that bell so you know when a new one drops. Yes, you can. Oh, we'll get Jennifer a booth at conference. Sure we will. Cooey's Cookies at conference. We can probably get her to cook in the hotel kitchen or something. We'll work something out. I can hear Adele wanting to kill me now. I'm here every night at More 8 Than Ish live in the Nards private Facebook group. But if you have a question, just email me. Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil@ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. That's how we roll every night. Tonight we're on page 42 if you're following along in the book. Good morning. everything could change today, or one tiny vital thing. What it won't be is a rerun of yesterday. Our good night tonight is good night. Everything could change tomorrow, or one tiny vital thing. What it won't be is a rerun of today. Rest up. Yes, rest up. There's your graphics, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a cookie party. Who knows? We can have all of those at conference. Yes, we can. But what's most important is that whenever we party again, I'm going to be there with you. But until then, and until tomorrow night at more 8 than ish, know that you and you, but most importantly you, yes, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. We had dinner and dessert, so what time is it for? We're going to have a snack, I guess. See you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great night.